September 13th right here on Jocks. Continue talking Auburn, Georgia from over the weekend. 20-10, Georgia gets the win. You want to be a part of the show, 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX. Let's go from your perspective, Greg, on a couple of these bigger calls, because I know people are dying to hear about it and dying to talk about it. You were there. Let's start with the quarterback sneak and just kind of how it went for you guys in the booth, what information you were privy to, what you had, what you saw. Just kind of take us through that scenario with what you had at your vantage point there inside that stadium Saturday night.
Well, we're fortunate on our crew, frankly, from a standpoint of resources and toys and cameras, we have more than all but one in the ESPN family of networks. So we had 20 different shots of the goal line, including pylon cam, and frankly, we're lucky to have access to that many replay looks. We're very, very fortunate to have resources like that on our show. And I saw from
y'all didn't
the
want
near
to see that
side
play on SEC Network at 11 a.m. I'll just say that.
Yeah, you're lucky that the play was on that show, frankly, because then there would have been no pylon cam, no other toys to be able to show you. It would have been hard to make a decision. We had cart cam, we had near side pylon cam, we have near side handheld, we have slash, we have rear end zone, we have low end zone. Like, we have every camera angle imaginable, slow-mos, other far side pylon cam. Like, we have more shots than anybody, all except for Herb Street's crew. They have more than us. So what I saw is cart cam was inconclusive. I saw near side handheld, inconclusive. Far side handheld, inconclusive. Far side pylon is the one that everyone is screenshotting and putting up the red line. Guys, you can't do the screenshot, because recall, it was fumbled. It was fumbled. So you don't know if you do the screenshot, you don't know if the ball is already on the move. You don't know that. Like, the ball could already be jarred loose at that point, but it looks like it's in his possession. But in reality, a screenshot's going to show the ball still, correct? So doing the red line test on the screenshot, to me, is not something that can be applicable here. But from my vantage point, I thought the far side pylon cam gave us the shot that made it look like, to me, the nose of the football had crossed the plane. Remember, the plane is at the beginning of the paint. So from that angle, Jackson Arnold is sneaking from right to left. The paint, meaning the right side of that painted line, that's the plane. All it has to do is crack it by 1 millimeter, and you're good to go. I thought he cracked it before the ball got punched out. Now, unfortunately, it was ruled a fumble on the field, which means in a replay review process, there has to be, this is in the rule book, quote, indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt. Answer me this. Even the most diehard Auburn and or Georgia fan, regardless of how many people, quote, texted me in the last, I don't know, I've had more texts on this game than I've ever gotten in my life from both sides of the equation. And the amount of times people have used the word, oh, clearly. Y'all, there was nothing clear about it. Oh, clearly the ball was out. Oh, clearly he scored a touchdown. Oh, clearly it was this. Oh, clearly it was that. There was nothing clear about it. It's a matter of perspective. If you're a Georgia fan, you think the ball was out. If you're an Auburn fan, you think he scored. Pretty simple, right? So with it being called a fumble on the field, you had to have indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. I, for one, I thought he scored. But if Cole looked at it, he might have thought otherwise. Which leads us to the comment, it clearly wasn't indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt. So based on the call on the field, it was probably ruled correctly, if you want me to be honest, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and I think there are multiple looks that I feel like when you get them from one angle, like you were saying about certain individuals, you can definitively look at that and say, he's in. And then you see it from a slightly different angle and say, well, maybe it did move before he got in. I thought it crossed the goal line.
I did too.
Based on multiple looks that I got there, the conversation about the ball being punched out twice. I think, and again, I'm saying I think because there's a defender who gets in the way of you clearly having the full view of it. It did feel like the ball moved, but then it was gathered when it crossed the goal line, which then in turn would have been a touchdown. It's unfortunate, and like you said, the ruling is going to be the ruling on the field is what's going to be of most importance if there's not indisputable video evidence, which obviously they ruled that there was not. So you could also not drop the football, and no one's saying that. And if that's a really hard thing to say, that's fine. I'll say it. Don't drop the ball at the end of the day. Like I don't feel like that's real hard. Just hold on to the ball. But I don't know if is that being mean? Like what is that? Why are we not allowed to say that? Why can't we say hold on to the ball?
Because that would require personal responsibility. That would require somebody taking personal accountability for a mistake made on the play. And
yes.
People don't like to accept responsibility. People don't like to accept personal accountability. People don't like to look in the mirror. People like to blame. And to me, that is a part of a huge issue here. When you look at the circumstances of what went down, you can feel bad for Auburn fans all you want. I absolutely feel terrible for them. It's awful. They've had a bunch of really unlucky situations. We also were on the call for the Oklahoma game. Super unlucky. But the reality is, if you hold on to the football, it's not a question. If you don't jump and allow yourself to be exposed to a possible punch out, it's not in question. So I don't think people like to take responsibility. I think people I certainly don't like to say I'm wrong. I certainly don't like to say I screwed up. Like, that's not a good feeling, but it's part of the maturation process, and people don't like to do that. So I get it, but I think that's why people don't want to talk about it, because it's easier to just blame somebody else as opposed to accepting personal responsibility.
And I'm not saying that that's the end-all be-all. I'm not saying that I don't think the ball crossed the plane. I thought it did, but it's still a reality of ball security. It's important. It's a thing. So that being sort of put to rest based on your view, you being at the game, you calling the game. The timeout situation with Kirby Smart. You kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier. Should have been charged the timeout. I don't know how anyone can work around that aspect of it. Now, if you want to talk about, was a defender clapping? Did he have the conversation about a defender clapping afterwards? I think that he did. I actually believe him there. I saw the safety on film clapping. He was. Now, is he trying to get somebody's attention? Maybe. I don't know the intent. I don't put myself in other people's brains and know exactly what they're thinking. But he ran down to the official calling a timeout. That is not debatable.
Correct.
How that was either forgiven or let slide or not being held accountable for, Greg, I don't have there's no explanation for that. There really isn't.
There's none. My question is, did it matter? For as much as people are talking about it, for as much as people have made a huge deal about it, for as much as people have spent time discussing it, did they get away with one? 100%.
Well,
Guess what? People get away with stuff all the time.
You were there in the stadium. I didn't have this angle of it. Were they going to get the playoff?
No. It was going to either be a delay of game or it was going to be no. There's no way they were going to get the playoff.
Yeah, that might be the one thing that I would say is if they weren't going to get the playoff, then it was advantageous at that time.
Yeah, it was advantageous. I think they were going to get the playoff. I don't know. I don't recall that circumstance. All I know is that Kirby Smart went into the game or finished the game without having called all of his timeouts. So to me, it wasn't as big of a difference as some other people. And based on how things were going for Auburn offensively in the second half, like percentage likelihood of success on that individual snap, what would it have been? It was egregious that it didn't get called. That to me was the most egregious moment of the game from an officiating standpoint. Not the fumble. The fumble, I can understand why they called it I disagreed with it, but I can understand why they called what they called. I really can. But that one to me was just a flat out miss.
Yeah.
And we had the replay angles and everything of Kirby calling timeout. So yeah, that was a miss for sure. And he got away with one. But at the end of the day, like, was that why you lost by 10? I don't think so. Like, personally, I don't think so. So I can understand the frustration, but I also don't think it was an enormous indicator on whether or not, a team. It was not an enormous indicator about whether or not a team won the game or lost the game, whether or not a timeout was charged or not. Like, to me, it wasn't as big a deal as some of the others.
Yeah. All right, let's go into, and if you guys want to be a part of this, you can. 800-239-9569. I'm interested to get folks' take on where they are on this, where they saw this, how they see this now, how that's going to affect things moving forward. Let's go to just kind of the X's and O's aspect of what you saw in this game. First and foremost, the differences between Auburn's offense early, late. Being there in the stadium, what did you say, or what did you see as to sort of how things were so drastically different from the first half to the second?
They couldn't run the ball. I mean, simple as that. They couldn't run the ball. Yes, I thought in the second half, Georgia's linebackers took over the game. Like, that was the most apparent thing to me, was just how good those linebackers played down the stretch. I mean, C.J. Allen's making plays on jet sweeps against Eric Singleton. Like, you know how absurd that is? Like, absurd. They couldn't run the ball. They could not get to advantageous situations from a down and distance standpoint. And their quarterback missed some throws. Pretty simple. And they had guys open. I mean, you have Eric Singleton for a touchdown. He overthrows him. You have a guy in the flat on a short yardage situation, and he overthrows him. You have, I don't know, 2 or 3 other throws. You have a guy in Perry Thompson open over the middle. You throw it on his right ankle and miss that throw by 4 yards. And seriously, like that, if that throw is 2 yards off target, it's a catch. It was 10 yards away. I think when you look at everything about the throws that Jackson did or did not execute, it was bad. I mean, he missed throws. I really don't know what else to tell you. And that stinks that you got to deal with that. And I hate that that's a reality of where they're at. But he left plays on the field, and that's a hard thing, I think, to beat Georgia. You got to be at your best, or at least close to it. And they were for about 29 minutes of the game. And then they were probably at their worst on the entire season, with the exception of the A&M game, there in the second half of that football game.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where you're going to look at it and wonder where you could have gone, what you could have gone to. I loved the involvement of the wide receivers early, the East-West game, some of the misdirection. You added different pullers. I thought the formation usage with the tight ends was great to be able to sort of widen the surface some. And then the utilization of the tight ends in the passing game, some of the quick throws there. And Georgia adjusted. Like I said earlier in the show, they went to more of an even front. That wasn't going to allow for some of those things. And the counterpunch, Greg, strategically, I couldn't find it. I was looking for it watching the film last night, and I couldn't find it. And I don't know exactly where that needed to be. I don't know exactly what that needed to be from Auburn, but it wasn't there. The defense, however, played some really good football.
Excellent.
I mean, they disrupted up front, did not allow a consistent rushing attack to get generated for Georgia, and they made Gunnar Stockton uncomfortable. Now, he still made some good throws, and a couple guys, he had a couple good runs. Couple guys made some good runs after the catch, but they almost forced he and that offense to be inconsistent. And I don't know, you can't ask for a whole lot more than that out of your defense, specifically at home when you got a lot of that momentum on your side. But DJ Durkin continues to throw a defense on the field that's playing quality football.
No doubt. And the one thing, though, that was problematic is that the pass rush was so impactful early, and the blitzes that he was calling were so impactful early. Very impressive start to the game. Where was the pass rush in the second half? Why were the blitzes unsuccessful? Georgia made adjustments and had some quick throws and had some quick answers that all of a sudden gave them some rhythm offensively. So I think that was a little bit of a problem. I think Kayan Lee being out in the second half made a bit of an impact as well. Not that he's the best, best cover corner they have. I don't know if that's the case. I think he's solid, but I think he was missed a little bit there in the second half as well.
No doubt. All right. Going to get to a break. You guys continue to give us your feedback on Auburn, Georgia. What do you want to get to? What parts of it do you want to talk about? We can discuss that more on the other side. 800-239-9569. Tyler Watt's coming up at 9 o'clock. He'll give us his vantage point from Missouri of Alabama's win in Como, and then Dan Wetzel at 9:20 to talk James Franklin being let go and a potential cash infusion to the Big Ten and what that would mean and what that would do for that conference. Before we do that, GMAC, tell our listeners about Canty.
Well, Canty can fix it. You know that. Cantey can fix it. They are the foundation specialists here in our area that specialize in foundation repair, crawl space, basement, and or concrete solutions. There's a lot of factors that can lead to foundation problems in your home: the soil, the shifting, uneven ground, moisture, weather, even just the age of your home can be problematic as well. So if you're noticing your chimneys or porches pulling away from the home, if you're noticing concrete sinking and or uneven driveways, if you're noticing gaps between the crown molding on the baseboards or around doors and windows, then that probably is an indication of a foundation problem that could be really bad down the stretch. Make sure you get it taken care of today by calling Canty Foundation Specialists. They offer free inspections and estimates, so homeowners know exactly what's going on under their house. Their work is backed by a lifetime transferable warranty, so call them today at 205-509-3991, or you can go online at Cantey, C-A-N-T-E-Y, canfixit.com. That's Cantey, canfixit.com.
All right, we'll get to a break. More of your feedback next, right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Monday, October 13th, 9:21 a.m. here in Charlotte, 8:21 there in Birmingham. Before we continue to move on, get to your phone calls, 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX. Say about your CBD store. If you're looking to lose a little bit of weight, the Trim by SunMed in stock now at your CBD store. Also, products to help you sleep a little bit better, products to help you focus during the course of the day, skincare, gut health. They've got those for you. They've got those for your pets as well, including arthritis, anxiety products for your pets. If they get nervous when the storms come through or having trouble getting up and down the stairs, they've helped a couple pets in my household with that. Go by your CBD store today, the largest brick-and-mortar CBD retailer in the world. They are open at all three locations. First company to have USDA certified organic oil supplements. Visit one of those three shops today. Highway 280 by Bailey Brothers, 150 by the Cajun Cleaver, and Trussville just off 459. Your CBD store where good health hits home. All right, let's go to the Higginbotham hotline now and get your feedback. Tommy wants to chime in on Auburn. Welcome into the show, Tommy.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing great.
Morning,
Thank
Man, look here. I'm so sick and tired of people talking about that fumble. I'm sick and tired of people talking about Kirby running down the sideline. We should have never have been in a position that would have affected the game in any way. And once you have adversity, you just can't stop playing. We made no adjustments after halftime. Every week it's the same thing. We can't complete a pass down the field unless our wide receivers come back to the ball. Perry Thompson is finally coming into his own, and they still looking for every play to come from Cam and Singleton. It seems like to me our problem is the play calling and the quarterback. Now, I could be wrong, but this kid is doing the same things that he did at Oklahoma, except he have a better, a better crew around him. So when you was talking about the play where Thompson was going across the middle and he threw it at his back ankle, that would have been a first down. If he could have made the play to Howard, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, 100%. Not only would it have a first down, there would have been some catch and run there too.
That's right. He had room to run. This kid is 6'2", 220. You know, then you had the kid with Howard over there on that 4th and 1. I think it was the 4th and 1. I could be wrong. If he just had a leg, just gave him the ball. Singleton running down the center of the field, wide open. This just didn't happen Saturday. This happened every week that he missed those throws. So my question is this. Hugh had went and got two quarterbacks. He went and got Peyton Thorne from Michigan State, and he went and got this kid. Both of them are failures. At some point in time, doesn't that fall back on Hugh? And number two, you got a kid who can run this offense. Ashton Daniels is every bit of the runner that Jackson Arnold is. He can't be any worse of a passer. So I'm gonna get off the air, and I just want you guys to hit on those points. But man, let's stop talking about that fumble. You got two running, but why did you give him the ball? Why didn't you let Carr been running the ball all year? It seemed like when he get hot, you take him out the game. It seemed like when he get hot, you take him out the game. The second quarter, he disappeared. This kid needs touches. So, and I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Yeah, I think more of the run game from the running backs disappeared. Not even so much him. And Tommy, I thought you made some good points there. There's a lot that I wouldn't disagree with. I will say this: I don't really know as far as in this system what exactly Ashton Daniels would be. I do think his system at Stanford was a little bit different. He does have good mobility. He is not the runner that Jackson Arnold is. But that doesn't mean that some of what he offers couldn't work and couldn't be successful because we haven't really seen enough of it. We don't know. Maybe that's coming. Don't really have an idea of exactly when or where something like that would take place or how it's going to take place. Auburn gets Mizzou this weekend. Be Him Dog wants to chime in. Welcome in, Dog.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm going to do my very best not to pull a Hastings here, but I got three very quick points and a question for you guys, and I'll hang up.
Sure.
First point, the fumble, in my opinion, it was 100% a touchdown. That's just from what I'm looking at, what I saw on the Jumbotron. I was there, and then everything I saw afterwards, like on social media. But you alluded to you used three phrases in your description of it, Paul. You said, I think, I thought, and I feel like. And those three phrases and words is basically inconclusive. So
100%.
I think people realize they lose focus on how important the call on the field is. Everybody jumps up in arms and says, oh, it's going to be reviewed. That's great. But the call on the field is so important. Because if it was been called a touchdown, it would have stayed a touchdown. That's that. It was a huge momentum swing. I'm glad it went our way, but yes, I do feel like it was a touchdown. Second, the timeout. Yes, 100% Kirby was calling a timeout. 100%. I don't care what he says. Do I think he needs to be fined? No. All the fan base attacking this man's integrity and character over. This is not a Kirby Smart problem. This is an officiating problem. They should have given the timeout. Georgia should have been given the timeout, and we should have done whatever we was going to do. All right, that's my second point. I was at the game in my 40 years of watching college football, I guess since I was 10 years old. Best atmosphere I've ever been a part of in my life. Congratulations. Well done, Auburn. I hope one day. My wife's an Auburn grad. She loves Auburn to death. I hope soon that you can get a product on the field to back up the atmosphere that you have there. Unbelievable. My question, and I'm gonna hang up. I don't know. Can I name drop here from another site? Or you rather me not?
Sure. Go for it.
On three, Brooks Austin. I don't know where you hold this guy in regards of his intellect in college football. I think maybe I'm just very gullible. To me, he's very smart in his breakdowns. I love the breakdowns that you guys give. He was on the sidelines, and he said this, and it goes back to y'all's point about the adjustments. He was walking down the sidelines, and he wouldn't name drop the Georgia staffer, but he says, they are walking the dog on you. What is up? And the guy goes, they have run 26 plays and have scored 10 points. They have, and they're running plays that we haven't seen. They have emptied the playbook. And I want to hang up and listen to see what you thought about that comment, that they have emptied their playbook on these 26 plays to get 10 points. And I'll hang up and listen, guys.
I mean, I don't know what Auburn exactly went into with. I don't know what they went in prepared to run. I think Brooks does a fine job and knows football. Sometimes I don't know what coaches say or what coaches did, so I can't verify, quantify exactly what was said. I mean, I'm on the sideline for every game, and this has nothing to do with him, but there are a lot of things that I hear regurgitated that were said on the sideline in the heat of the moment, and I'm always wondering how and why. Because I maybe I need to take both of my headphones out, but I don't hear things near as clearly and lengthy as a lot of other people do. That's just me. But as I stated before, there were a lot of things that I thought were really creative, that were really good, that were run with success early and either not built upon and not married up to in the second half. But I thought it was actually more of the defense that Georgia went to and played that was just as problematic for that. And that's why a lot of the things off tackle didn't work in the second half, in my opinion. And I felt like you would have had success attacking things in a little bit of a different way. You weren't going to have the angles for the pullers. You weren't going to have the angles to be able to block back. And you were going to have different guys playing things on the edge differently than you did in the first half. And that's why the run game was essentially non-existent in the second half. How did you see it, G-Mac?
Yeah, I think there was some of that. I also thought that they didn't do a very good job of firing off. If you actually see in the first half, man, they were moving folks. Like second half, I'm not sure what it was. I'm sure Georgia started passing around the Space Jam secret juice there at halftime, and those guys just played better. They were anchored down more, and they allowed their linebackers to run more cleanly, and the linebackers diagnosed faster. So, like, it's hard for me sometimes to quantify those things, but to me, man, it was really impressive to see the adjustments there. I mean, it really was. So I have a hard time kind of looking at it as such where, oh, well, they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. They just had no rhythm in the second half. Like, Georgia tackled better. Sometimes they just played better. I mean, it was simple as that. So, and by the way, I don't think that they completely emptied the playbook in the first half. I actually thought the plan was super simple and pretty, I don't want to say vanilla, but there wasn't like this next level deception, They weren't going trick plays and all this stuff. Like, it was very simple RPO offense that we've seen forever at places like Ole Miss, at places like a bunch of other places. So I don't know. I'm not as consumed by what I've seen so far. I think that when I watch this Auburn team, I think there's things to like. I just don't think I think the quarterback's inconsistencies is a problem that I think is documented. I think his inability to make high-pressured throws is a problem. For example, when you watch Alabama, and I hate to use them as an example, like when it's 3rd and 11, how confident are you that Ty's going to make the throw to convert? Pretty confident, right? Like,
Yeah,
relatively
he's proven
speaking,
he can do it.
Like, when Bama's into 3rd and 11, I'm like, all right, that's probably like a 50-50 proposition. When Auburn's in 3rd and 11, what's the likelihood of conversion? 1 for 10, maybe? Like 10%, maybe less? I don't know, man. It's disappointing, and I feel for him. I really do. But, man alive, it's just hard for me to kind of wrap my head around one specific thing. I think Hugh will take a lot of heat, but I don't think this is all on him. Like, he had guys open. Like, when you're a coach, your job is to get guys open. And frankly, guys are open. And you could say, well, Hugh chose Jackson Arnold. Hugh chose a bunch of other guys. Just, you got to get them. And they couldn't. Like, they wanted John Mateer. Didn't work. So, I don't know. There's other aspects at play here, I think, that are probably frustrating from an Auburn fan's perspective, because you had every right to win that game on Saturday. You just made a couple critical mistakes. And unfortunately, Auburn does not have the margins to make mistakes and overcome to get those wins. And that's unfortunate.
To put it in perspective, on 3rd down this year, Auburn is 65% for 174 yards. That's 23 of 35. They have converted 12 first downs on 3rd down. Alabama on 3rd down is 35 of 54, 65%. They've converted 26 first downs. So just passing, that's just passing what it's been on 3rd down so far this year. So, yeah, the confidence level is a little bit different with those. We got to get to a break. When we come back, you guys still on hold. We'll get to you. A couple folks are texting into the show. We'll get to your feedback as well right after this on Jocks. 8:37 right here on Jocks. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Listen online, jocksfm.com. The app is in your app store, iPhone, Android. You can always download that for free. Watch live on YouTube and tell your home smart speaker to enable the Jock skill.
Bill Smith Buick GMC is the GMC Dealer of the Year, the national champion of GMC dealers, and you just go and check out their lot right now. You'll see some deals that you won't find anywhere else. There's a reason why they are the largest GMC dealer in Alabama. They have the largest discounts and they have the best service. Thank you, Alabama, for making them number one. Again, they sell more vehicles than anyone in the Southeast because you get deals like this, like a GMC Sierra 2500 Denali. It's about the nicest truck on the road. Can't find one that's any better. Just under 90,000 is what you'd pay locally. You take the short drive up to Bill Smith, you pay $77,715. It's deals like that that keep people coming back. There's a reason why they sell more than anyone, because they have deals that you won't find anywhere else. That's why 75% of their business is repeat customers. I'm a repeat customer. I've bought 3 vehicles from them. I'll buy the next one from them as well, because the deals are just too good and the experience is just too good with what Jonathan Yeager and Andy Cole provide. So take the short drive up to Coleman. You'll be glad you did. You can also shop online, have it delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuickGMC.com.
All right, so we will go back to the phones, 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX, if you would like to be a part of the show. Chris in Birmingham wants to chime in. Welcome into the show, Chris. Sorry, Chris, we're going to have to try Wade in North Alabama. Couldn't really hear you there on the phone, so our apologies for that. Wade, how are you today? No, Wade. Roger wants to chime in on Auburn. Welcome into the show, Roger.
Hey guys, I listen to y'all a lot. Don't call, but I got to call him about the Hugh Freeze thing. I listen to him, what he says, what you read on AL.com. You know, he's whining. He's the head coach of Auburn University, and he's whining about we can't get a break, and we need our luck getting good, and we need to get a break soon. And he sets the tone. The head coach sets the tone. You know, make your own breaks. You know, coach them up. Get out there. You know, but it reminds me back to the Mike Shula days, all the way back when Shula was the head coach of Alabama. Dave Rader was his offensive coordinator, and Shula made the comment, "We can't win the coin toss and get our defense on the field first." So I'm like, you're the head coach of Alabama, an offensive-minded, you know. You don't want the ball. You know, I look at Kiffin, I look at Spurrier, those guys, you know, give me the ball. I want the ball. And it's just the whining from the head coach that sets the tone, and it's got to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like what we referenced a little bit earlier, Roger, with, you know, me saying that, you know, a lot of Auburn folks are kind of buying into the excuse making, and you just got to move on from that part of it. And there are a lot of different ways to handle it, a lot of different ways to manage it. You think about that halftime conversation and then going into the locker room. If that is what bled over to the players, it's probably not a big surprise that you got the performance you did in the second half. Golden Domer wants to chime in. Welcome into the show, Domer. How are you? Great point. Appreciate the call. All right, Damian, what's coming in on the text line on the show today? What are folks saying about this?
It's a little all over the place, man. Scotty in Alpine, he brings up a great point. He says, at the college football national statistics, Auburn is ranked 111th in team passing. There's your problem. CJ texts in. He says, in 3 SEC games this season, Auburn has not been over 300 yards of total offense against any opponent. That's not officiating problems. That's coaching problems. Somebody else takes in and says 2 weeks to script 2 drives for Hugh Freeze, then back to drawing plays out of a hat. 0 adjustments ever.
Well, like, I mean, you can say that, and I mean, I do think that that's a part of it. I'm not going to say that's the only part of it, but like Greg said, there were yards on the field to be had, and Auburn just didn't find them in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, there were yards there. I mean, there were guys open. So if you want to like nitpick the play calling, I would respectfully disagree with you. I think he called a fine game. There were guys that were open and plays to be made, and they weren't made. Why? Because they don't have a naturally accurate passer from time to time. Jackson misses throws. Jackson also, by the way, with all due respect to the young man, I like him. I'm sure he's working his tail off. He's grinding. He cares. Like, he does all those things. But he allowed his mistake at the end of half to have an impact on him the rest of the way. He wasn't the same guy in the second half that he was in the first half. Now, did he get banged up and we don't know about it? Perhaps. Is that possible? Might be.
Yeah.
I don't know for certain, but it might be, right? So how would you assess that? Do you assess it and say, well, he was banged up and that's why his accuracy slipped, or did he lose confidence and that's why things didn't go his way? What do you think? Because to me, that there were throws on the field that as a Division I quarterback playing against a top 10 team, you got to make. I don't know what to tell you. Like, Eric Singleton is running wide open down the middle of the field. You overthrow him. There is, by the way, against Oklahoma, you had Cam Coleman not once but twice open downfield behind the defense. Overthrow him. Ball's too flat. Doesn't throw enough air under the ball. Guys, we're talking about a Division I starting quarterback. A highly recruited Division I starting quarterback. You have to be able to make those throws. You have to. And look, you're going to have some misses every once in a while. Yeah, like you're a Division I guy. No, this is the highest level of college athletics in the Southeastern Conference. Answer me this. Let's just go down the laundry list of candidates right now, if I may. And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here. And you could say, oh, well, you know, Auburn recruited them. It's on them. Perhaps it is. Let's just start in the SEC. Do you think Ty Simpson's making that throw?
Yes.
You think Gunnar Stockton's making those throws?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think Trinidad Chambliss making those throws?
Absolutely.
Do you think Diego Pavia's making those throws?
Yes.
Do you think Bo Prabula's making those throws?
Maybe.
Do you think Garrett Nussmeier's making that throw?
Last year's
Depends on
version.
how many defenders are in his face.
Last year's version.
Do you think Joey Aguilar's making that throw?
Yes.
Do you think John Mateer's making that throw?
Sidearm, yes.
Do you think Arch Manny's making that throw?
This weekend you was.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, I just went through how many in the SEC?
About 10.
Taylor Green.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So, like, did I say Gunnar Stockton?
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Okay. So, like, that's in the SEC. Let's go now nationally. You think Jaden Mayava's making that throw?
You didn't say Marcel Reed.
You think Marcel Reed's making that throw?
Sometimes.
Or Lagway.
Depends on the day.
Lagway making that throw. You think Lenore Sellers making that throw?
At home.
Depends on how many guys he's got in his face again.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's go nationally. Julian Sayin. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damon Williams, Washington. Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Carson Beck.
Absolutely.
Fernando Mendoza.
Yep.
Luke Altmaier.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Carr.
More than likely.
Haynes King.
This version, yes.
Chandler Morris.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Darian Mensah.
Yep.
Sawyer Robertson.
Oh, absolutely.
Jalen Daniels.
He is.
Bear Bachmeyer.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think so.
Baron Morton. Dante Moore. Josh Hoover. Ethan Kaliak-Manis. Dylan Raiola. Nico Iamaleava.
Oh,
Like, Miller Moss. Like, I'm going down the list here, guys, and, like, how many guys did I just list?
it was a
30?
bunch.
40? 50? Kevin Jennings. Sam Levitt. Noah Fafita. Like, I'm going down a long list of guys that are probably going to make that throw. I'm just being honest. Like, probably going to make those throws. And they might miss one or two, but they're probably going to make them at a higher percentage than Jackson right now. And that's no disrespect to Jackson. It's just, I don't think, and this has been true forever, for as long as the world is revolving around the sun, which by my account, pretty long time. Read Genesis not that long ago. Real long time since God created the earth and the moon and the stars and the sun and all this stuff. All right, so it's been a really long time. You cannot win high-level college football games if you have a quarterback that is not playing high-level football. And you don't have to have high-level stats. You just have to have high-level football. And I don't think that Jackson's doing that right now, or at least he didn't do it in the second half of that football game, which is disappointing. Now, is it in there? Hopefully. Hopefully it is, but right now, you can't win without a quarterback. You never could, for the record. So hopefully they can get him bounced back. They can get him back on track, but he's got to make throws, man. And it just hasn't happened as often as it needs to.
Yeah, it's a fair point as to just kind of, what it was during this game and how it's been. And you wonder what's the ability going to be for that to get changed moving forward the rest of the season. Is it going to be another quarterback? We don't really know just yet. We do know that Gusty Gouls and the Gusty Gouls Group can help you find a new home in Central Alabama. Brokered by eXp Realty, serve more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. Call the Gusty Gouls Group today, 205-542-1996. That's 205-542-1996. And you'll see what they can do for you. Over 850 5-star Google reviews. So just Google Gusty Gouls Group. See how they can help you. Go to GustyGoulsGroup.com today. Button at the right-hand corner of your page at the top. Very little information. Find out what they think your home is worth and what they can get for it and how they can help you. They've helped members of my family. They can help you as well. Go to GustyGoulsGroup.com or call 205-542-1996 and start packing. More of your feedback, more reaction to this weekend's games next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning into the show today. 800-239-9569 if you want to get in. We've been talking a lot about this Auburn-Georgia game. We'll go back to Alabama and Mizzou on the other side as Tyler Watts makes his weekly visit on the show. Give us his thoughts from Como being there in person of how and why Alabama was able to get that win. We discussed a little bit earlier in the show coaches that are out. Trent Dilfer fired at UAB. He was 9-21. $3 million buyout. Alex Mortensen will take over as the interim. They go down to FAU over the weekend, 53-33. UAB now 2-4. James Franklin out at Penn State. Buyout's going to be over $50 million. He was there for 12 years. Terry Smith will be the interim. Penn State went down to Northwestern 22-21 over the weekend. Nittany Lions are 3-3. Drew Aller was 13 of 20, 137 yards, no touchdowns and interception. He is now out for the year as Penn State looks to move on from James Franklin. Wake Forest knocked off Oregon State 39-14. Wake Forest, by the way, 4-2. Oregon State fires Trent Bray. He was 2 years into a 5-year deal, 5-14 as the head coach, $4 million buyout, 0-7 on the season this year. So not really a big surprise with at least two of those three, Greg, but James Franklin, just based on the tenure, the resume, what he had done, I know it was bad this year, but part of that surprising that you're going to move on from someone who has done that much from your program.
Yeah, and I think just the timing of it is strange and a little uncomfortable. But in reality, it was probably understandable and appropriate. So with all that being said, I think that the direction of the program was not where you wanted it to be, and you don't want to mess around. And you need to go ahead and make the call. But it really came down to, I think, James Franklin's relationship with some high-level, impactful boosters. And I don't think they enjoyed some of his antics. I don't think they enjoyed some of the things that he would say publicly in the press conferences, excuse-making. So I think patience wore very thin when it came to James Franklin. And that's ultimately why it went the way it went.
And it'll be wild to see where that thing goes next. It's one of the most storied programs in the history of college football. Do you have a feel early? There's a lot of candidates thrown around. There are a lot of names being tossed around. But which ones do you look at as most realistic as we sit here today?
Well, everybody and their brothers throwing out the usual suspects. When you look at it, right? I mean, the Matt Campbells of the world, people are going to say Matt Rule, but I don't think that's going to happen. Let me just throw one out there for you, just so you can know that you heard it here first. Do not rule out the possibility of Pat Fitzgerald. Formerly of Northwestern, had a bad situation at Northwestern that he ended up making a ton of money off of because some of the claims were unfounded and there was a big old settlement and things like that. So Pat Fitzgerald's a name I would keep a real close eye on when it comes to Penn State.
He's a good coach. He's proven that time and time again. So we'll see where Penn State goes for their next head football coach. We know where we're going when we come back. Tyler Watt's going to join the show and give us his thoughts on being there in person in Como for Alabama's win over the weekend. If your weekend was rough, you need to get off to a better start. Game Day Men's Health wants to help you. You can go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com right now. Sign up for the free consultation with that. Free PSA test, free testosterone test. They tell you where your baseline health is. They're going to be able to help you get back to feeling better. They can help you lose weight, testosterone replacement. The peptides are in stock. Locker room environment, holistic approach to health and wellness. Open now in Trustville and a minimal upfront cost for the programs they offer. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today and sign up for that free consultation. Mac and Q back with Tyler.